Hey everyone, Teresa with Hick-A-Billy LLC. Most of the plants that I will be talking about in my videos and have talked about in my videos, I got from this book. This book is written by an instructor of mine that I took several classes with in Colorado, the community college there. In Colorado Springs. His name is Bob Seebeck, also known as Cattail Bob. So anyway, but again, this is for the Colorados and the Rockies. So some of these plants are also throughout North America, so you can find them at lower elevations. And what I'm going to show you right now, and the reason why I'm showing you this book at the very beginning is because this is what I want people to understand, where I'm referencing my information of where I get it, because I am not claiming to be an expert in any way, shape, or form. I am just going off of the knowledge of things that I have learned and picked up throughout the years. And I did take classes from Cattail Bob. I think I took about 4 or 5 classes from him, and I can't remember if I was 1 or 2 classes away from being able to actually teach people what I've learned from Cattail Bob. Now, a little history on Cattail Bob. He actually was, from what I understood, he actually taught the military how to survive in the wilderness. It was one of his jobs he did, and then he went to instructing and teaching classes, and now I believe he has online programs and things like that he does. So anyway, I'm going to show you this plant. It's an herb. It's a spice, actually. And this here, this papery, you guys remember that plant called the money plant? This is very similar to that money plant. This is called Pennycress. And inside each of these papery leaves are a bunch of seeds. And let me get to this page on here for it. There's the lamb's quarter. Okay, here we go. If I can spell right. There we go. That's pepper grass and pennycress. Pennycress, what everybody loves about his book is that he shows the plant in 4 different seasons to help you identify this plant just about any time of the year. He tells you a description about the plant, the other names for it: garlic mustard, Pennycress mustard, that lives between 4,000 and 10,000 feet. And then its the best tasting parts are the leaves and the seeds, and the uses. So a lot of the seed stuff that he puts in his books, he states that they can be ground into flour. Whether it'll be leavening flour, as in where it can rise like bread, or a flat breads, I'm not sure. I don't think I would want to use this seed as a flour because it is a very strong garlic flavor. I definitely am going to be collecting these to be using in my for my flavorings in my foods when I cook, more of a seasoning. I really like it. I collected some seeds already, and it is a very strong garlic flavor. So I believe it's going to be pretty awesome herb to have. So let's see here. It does have, he also has, here's what he also puts in. He puts lookalikes, which is a lot of people don't put in their books. I love that he puts lookalikes. So he has here, and when it's immature like this, there are many lookalikes, too many to number or to name off. But if there's only a few, he will name them off in there. And when they're mature, it's similar to pepper grass, which is the next page over, which I will be showing you that also. Pepper grass, which is very similar. They're smaller, but it still has that papery same profile, leaf profile as the pennycress. They're just smaller, and all it has is a peppery flavor, not a garlic peppery flavor. So I would be using this as a black pepper substitute versus and this garlic, peppery garlic seasoning. Let's see. And then, of course, the greens are edible on both plants. So you could use those in flavoring your foods also. Or having in your spiciness to your salads, which is always good. But here he states about mustards. Something to keep in mind that wild mustards have been known to cause intestinal irritation when eaten to excess. And I think I would take that caution to anything that you're getting in the wild. Be careful. Our bodies aren't accustomed to, you have a specific kind of way that everyone eats and certain foods. And so when you change your diet, even with my animals, you change your diet to different foods, or you go straight, you can't do cold turkey because it puts your body in a shock. And even though it's something for like purging your system out, just trying to eat healthier, you can get very sick from trying to just get healthy. So you can't just cold turkey things. It can be. If you have a sensitive body, sensitive system, you could react in such a bad way. So please be careful when doing these things. And also when I'm, especially like these videos I'm showing, this is another plant that I have growing in my yard. These are all edible plants, best tasting, that I will be sharing with you guys over time. And so please, please, please take those warnings to heart and be careful in small amounts until you feel comfortable that your body will be adjusting to it and accepting it just fine. So, okay, I am going to pull off one of these leaflets here, and I'm going to show you. Let's get this to focus. Sorry. There we go. So it splits in half, and then it has little seeds. Let's see if we can show that. There we go on the yellow. Just like that, little brownish color seeds. Lots of them in each leaflet. Oops, that one didn't. That one was empty. Sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. So that's what they look like. And I'll show you my little jar I collected. I'm going to grab these. I don't have a lot of these in my yard, but I did find some on another field. So I'm just going to collect these branches here, and I'm going to stick them in my little bucket and take them inside, and I will winnow them out, and we'll show you the seeds. Oh, yeah. I'm releasing the seeds, some of the seeds back into the soil so it can grow more again next year. I do plan on putting together an herb garden, which I did start one already, but it's got a mix of commercially bought herbs and then some wild herbs that I've transplanted. Some of the transplants didn't take, and then others were doing quite fine. So I'm going to add this I'm going to put together a winter garden and see if I can grow these things throughout the winter and just see if I can get some greens and other herb things to eat and add to my food for the winter. So we'll see how that goes. That will, oh, I'm getting out of the camera. That will also be in another video. So I was talking about the other plant, peppergrass, because I'm collecting pennycress, and this is peppergrass. Now peppergrass is growing around here quite prevalent, so it's just easy to find. And to show you a comparison between the two, this is the pennycress, the garlic flavor, and this is peppergrass, which is the just a pepper herb. I'm not collecting these right now. I'm working on one first before I go too far to the other. You know, yeah, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, because I'm looking at this. Yeah, that is peppergrass. So peppergrass has a yellowish color seed, and that's what these are. But these look they look a little funny. And when you're out harvesting wild foods, if you question what you're identifying and you're not 100% sure, don't eat it. You need to be 100% sure what you have that you're identifying before you start eating something, because you could kill yourself or you could make yourself very sick. So when you are doing wild harvesting, do a lot of research. Look at other people's videos, read up what other people have, get a book from an expert, and learn how to identify plants properly. Things you're going to look at. Let me see something I could show you here that's obvious. Much better. This particular plant is sticky gums. It has medicinal uses. You can make tea from it. It's got a sticky resin on the top. It can be used for bug bites, bee stings, things like that. But to identify plants, you want to look at the stem, you look at the leaves structure. Also, this is called opposite. They have leaf styles where they are, I'm sorry, these are alternate. I just said something wrong. These are alternate. Opposites are when they're facing each other and on opposite sides. That's alternate. Like tomato leaves, they're alternate. The stems can be square, they can be round. So that helps identify. We kind of know that mints are square stemmed and hollow. Are they hollow inside? I better be careful what I say on these cameras, huh? But anyway, really do your research, really know what to identify on each part of these plants. You have to be able to identify the type of leaf, the structure of the stems, alternate, opposite, spiral. There's so many different things to know about plants. But like I say, before you do wild harvesting, please make sure you understand the plant itself. If you doubt it, don't do it. And then the other thing is lookalikes. If possible, always look up potential lookalikes and what are the hazards of those lookalikes. Some lookalikes are actually still edible, and it's okay. Other lookalikes can kill you, such as death camas, which looks like an onion. Neighbor of mine, we were talking about wild plants, and he had said that he picked a bunch of death camas and thought it was wild onions and tried to feed it to his family, and thankfully they didn't eat it, And he did, and he got sick. He obviously didn't eat enough of it, but from what I learned about it was if you ate an amount equivalent to the size of your fist, you would be dead. So thankfully nobody really eats that much onions in one serving unless you're eating onion rings. And I don't believe that the Death Chemist onions bulbs get that large. But anyway, please be careful. I'm doing this to show you what I'm doing, not necessarily showing to teach you guys how to do something. This is just what I'm doing. So please, please, please educate yourself first before you start eating wild foods. And also, you could be allergic to it and not know that. I went and grabbed somebody was giving away a hops plant. I dug it up, pulled it out. Next thing I know, I got a rash all over my arms, and so I discovered that I was allergic to hops, which explains why every time I drink, I can't breathe. So drink alcohol, I can't breathe. So it hasn't stopped me from doing that, but I do limit myself to a very small amount of alcohol because I can't breathe. And I've tried wine, I've tried wheat beers, I've tried all kinds of different things, and I still it doesn't happen every time, but most of the time my sinuses clog and I can't breathe. So apparently I'm allergic to hops. And anyway, something to keep in mind when you're picking things like this, to be careful. Okay? Alrighty. Okay. Downward motion. These are my seeds. This blown out. This chaff. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Sweating up a storm. Okay, so got a few seeds in that yet. Alright. See, the chaff is not flying out. The seeds are supposed to be, am I not in there right? That's kind of working better. You chickens. Oh! too much. That's getting some of it out of there. It's getting quite a bit of it out of there, actually, that way. Colty, why do you always have to photobomb me? Why? Okay. There. I'll just pick out the little bitty pieces and then I'll show you what I got.